we've got a different drawing open for you this time. It's called units-metric.dwg, and as usual, you can download it from the library to follow along with this particular video. Now, we mentioned units earlier with the units dialog box, didn't we, where we were setting all our unit display settings and so on. Now, what I want to get across here is the difference between what units you're using is to measure a known distance. Now, in a floor plan, the perfect known distance is a doorway. So you can see we've got some door swings, there they are there. And if you zoom in, you can see that there's some nice door openings that we can measure. So, Home tab on the ribbon, like so. We're going to go across to the Utilities panel, click on the flyout and select Distance. Now, make sure that your object snaps are on down here, like so. There's your object snaps there, and click on that little flyout there as well. And just make sure that endpoint, midpoint and center are ticked, and intersection and extension are ticked. It's just a case of clicking on them, like so, and they tick. And that means that those snaps are on and they're running. And then click on the little flyout arrow again to lose the menu. Good thing is you can do that in the middle of a command. I'm still in my distance command, you'll notice, and it's asking me to specify the first point on the dynamic input next to the crosshair. So if I hover there, I should get an endpoint snap. There it is. Left click on the endpoint snap, bring it down to the endpoint snap on the other side of the door opening, and click again. And there's my distance, and the dynamic input goes to town. It shows me the angle, the distance, etc. But it's this little bit in the grey box. Distance is 882.65 millimeters. So we know that that doorway is 882.65 wide. Now that's not going to be feet, is it? It's not going to be inches. We can pretty much suss out that it is 882.65 millimeters. So I'll just exit the distance command. That's your sanity check. Okay. Now you'll also notice down here, if you look down here on your coordinate readout, remember we talked about coordinates and things as well. So down here on the little customization there, click on the three lines, make sure that coordinates is on, that one there. And that's also a good little sanity check. So I'll just click on the three lines to close the customization menu. So you can see here that when the numbers are really big like that, you know, that's not feet or inches unless you're in a really big drawing, right? So I'll double click on the wheel now just to zoom extents again like so. Now, talking of customization and the status bar down here bottom right, if you click on those little three lines again on the customization, look there, can you see units? Switch that on and then click on the little three lines to lose the customization menu again, because that will tell you what your unit settings are. You're using decimal. Excellent. So if you're using decimal, that gives you an idea normally of what kind of units you're working in. Now obviously you can display imperial measurement in decimal. You can have 0.5 feet, for example, or 0.2 inches. But more often than not, if you're working in feet and inches, it'll be something like architectural, engineering, or fractional. So let's just hit escape there just to lose that menu. And you'll notice there it doesn't disappear. So just click on the little flyout arrow like so. So that's how you can quickly sanity check that you're using metric units in an AutoCAD drawing that you might be working in. We're in a different drawing this time round. It's called units-imperial.dwg, and as usual you can download it from the library to follow along with this particular video. Now in the previous video I gave you a heads up on how to work out whether you were in a metric drawing. Now the dead giveaway in this drawing is obviously the name of the drawing, Units Imperial, right? But you'll notice as well, look at the dimensions between the grid lines. They are all in feet and inches. So that's a bit of a dead giveaway, but sometimes the unit settings might be set to decimal and the dimension style is displaying in feet and inches. It happens, so just be aware of that. So what we'll do this time is we'll zoom in on the same area where the door openings were. So you'll notice there's a bit of text here and there and things like that. You'll also notice there's some measurements there. Can you see 74SF? There's a text label there, and that basically stands for 74 square feet. So that again is a bit of a giveaway. But the sanity check is to use that measure tool. So again, Home tab on the ribbon, Utilities panel over here, click on the flyout and select Distance in the measure command. Utilising your object snaps, go Endpoint, left click, to Endpoint, make sure you get the endpoint, left click, and you can see there that it's 2 feet 10 3/4 inches. And that's pretty obvious from that readout, you can't miss it. So that's how big that doorway is in feet and inches. So that's your quick sanity check done on a known object or distance in the drawing. So I'll just exit the measure distance command there like so. I'll do a quick double click on the mouse wheel as well, and that zooms extents again back to where we were before. Now you'll also notice down on the status bar there are some giveaways as well. Down here in the coordinates, you can see the coordinates are giving us a readout in feet and inches. You'll also notice scalings and things. The annotation scale is in feet and inches. And you'll notice here, where we set the units on the status bar, it's currently in architectural. Architectural is an imperial setting for units. So that's pretty obvious that we are using an imperial drawing in feet and inches. Obviously, like I said though, the dead giveaway is the feet and inches in the dimensions on the drawing. But like I said, your unit settings could still be decimal, and your dimension style could be displaying feet and inches as well. So just to avoid confusion, do that sanity check on measuring a known distance or object, and just check other settings. The other thing you can do, obviously, is just type units. If you type units, like so, that'll give you everything that's going on in that particular drawing. So you can see there that we're still using decimal degrees, but for anything that is a length or a distance, we're in architectural, and we're using a precision there of 1/16 of an inch. So that's how you can check these things. I'll just click on cancel to make sure that I don't make any changes to that particular drawing. So as you can see, it's very easy to check what units a drawing is using, but when you set up a new drawing, there's no way for AutoCAD to kind of go, oh, you're in millimeters, or oh, you're in inches. You've got to set all of that up by setting your units display first and getting everything up and running in the drawing. So just be aware of that. AutoCAD won't do that part of it for you. We're starting this particular video with a new drawing, and the drawing is called simpletemplate.dwg. And as usual, you can download it from the library to follow along with this particular video. Now, what we're going to take a look at is creating, surprise, surprise, a simple AutoCAD template. Hence the name of the file, simpletemplate.dwg. Now, this simpletemplate.dwg file is a blank drawing, but it's got a few little settings set up here and there to allow you to save it as a template so that you can reuse it over and over again to create new DWG files. So let's take a quick look at the settings that have been set up. If you go to the Home tab in the ribbon and go to the Layers panel and click on the Layer flyout menu here, can you see we've got some preset layers in place, like so. And you could add some more there if you wanted to. Just pop to Layer Properties, click on New Layer here. You could potentially add some more layers that you might want to add. I'll close the Layer Properties Manager at this point. So we've got some preset layers in place. Now there are some other little bits that have been set up for us as well. If you type Units and press Enter, in the Drawing Units dialog you can see that we're using decimal for length and 2 decimal places. We're using decimal degrees and 4 decimal places. Our direction, if I click on the direction button, is east is 0. I'll just cancel that so that I don't make any changes. Also, you'll notice down here, it's a bit of a giveaway that we are using decimal because our little unit pop-up is there on the status bar bottom right. Remember to click on the little flyout arrow to lose that particular menu. You can't hit escape to switch it off. So that's our simple template.dwg file. It's got some very basic settings. One more thing while I remember, we've also got a layout tab set up. ISO A3 landscape. If I click on that, we've got a simple title block set up. And also if I right click and go into page setup manager, you'll notice here we've got a little page setup. ISO A3 landscape, PDF high res. So our page setup, if we plot the drawings, will plot to a high res PDF. I'll just close the page setup manager and I'll click on the model tab again. It's normally a good idea when you save your drawing to